Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Welcome Deer Corner. Taking some parts off the water jet. Making sure they're cut and they're in spec for the customer. But sitting back and cutting these this morning, getting the program ready to cut several hundred of them. And it's just like deer hunting. Just like deer hunting. See, I got to do a program, enter a program in it. And that gives all the points for this to get cut out of a flat piece of steel. So I got to make sure that program's correct. Every point. And that's just like deer hunting. You got to do your program, you got to get out and do your scouting. You got to look at every point so you don't scrap anything, waste your time. And then after you get that, you get your setup. Just like that water jet and cutting these parts. You lay your sheet of metal down, you get everything set up and ready to go. And same thing with deer hunting, your setup. Once you located the area you're wanting to hunt, you got to figure out your setup. What stand you're going to use, how to get in, how to get out. And then your execution. So after I get that water jet set up, programmed, set up, and then I cut some parts. And then I check them. And make sure they're in tolerance of what the customer wants. That's exactly what you do deer hunting. Once you execute, you get in, you get out, get your stand up, you start hunting. And again, just like that water jet, cutting these things out. If I make an error on anything on that water jet, I end up with a bunch of bad parts, a bunch of scrap. Well, a lot of lost money, lost time. Same thing deer hunting. If you don't do your program or execution right, your setup right, you could have a bad day of hunting. And there's just a whole lot to deer hunting than just going out and shooting a deer, harvesting a deer. Deer season's here. You got a couple weeks to go, and I hope everybody got out, did their scouting, did their looking. They got their program down. They got their setup down, getting ready for their execution, getting ready to go in. And one of the things I always state is when you're in the woods, be safe, be sorry. And that's true. But on setup on a deer stand in an area, and you know you got a good area, you should have two. You should have two locations in that area to set up a stand. And that's wind direction. See, on this machine, I am allowed a little mistake here and there, and still come in and spec on what the customer wants. Deer hunting, that little mistake can cost you. That's why I say two stands in your wind. Because you want to allow a little mistake here and there hunting. You're going to do what you're going to do it. Anybody said they don't make mistakes deer hunting no, they don't know how to deer hunt. They've never been deer hunting. And wind direction's one of them. Setting up and execute your wind direction. Your scent won't matter. I hear it time and time. I use scent block, I do this, I do that. If you're set up and your program's correct and you execute it correct and you're in the right wind direction, your scent's going downwind. It won't make a difference. They're since going away from them. So, you are allowed a few errors deer hunting. And there's a guy we call Parking Lot Man up there. He used to own property next to mine. The reason we call him Parking Lot Man is when he purchased the property, he went in and bulldozed an acre and a half out, made a big driveway, and put this little bitty trailer in it. Big old parking lot. You can drive a semi through it. But all he did was put a little trailer in it. So he got the nickname Parking Lot Man. And he deer hunted. Well, he claimed he deer hunted. He knew I was a deer hunter. One morning, I was in the stand. I was kicked back, I was relaxed, waiting for the sun to come up. And I heard the dangest commotion. Clang, 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 clang. Well, it was Parking Lot Man. And the way it sounded, he was getting up a tree so high you'd get a nosebleed. Making all kinds of racket. So the sun come up, and I pulled the binoculars up, and I'm looking over in that area. But I'm looking at the top of the trees. I couldn't find him. This is the truth, too, I'm telling you. I laughed out loud. Probably ruined my hunt, but it was funny. And I looked and looked and looked, couldn't see him, couldn't find him. So I finally heard some noise, and I finally got up and looked again. All that noise he made, he climbed up maybe 8 foot in a tree. His feet were hanging down high enough, basically touched the head of a deer. Out of all that noise. And that's when I got a laughing about him, but he was a deer hunter. But your execution of deer hunting is critical in deer hunting, how to get in and out. So you always should have 2 points of deer hunting or hunting setting up on an area, just for your wind direction. So you can eliminate the mistake of making scent. Your stand, what kind of stand you use makes a difference. Deer hunting. Now, I'm up in age, I don't climb trees no more. Older you get, you'll find that out. I got tower stands or redneck stands, but they're all placed in an area that I know is productive. And I got several of them. So I got enough stands out I could play the wind. I can play the wind direction of where I'm going to hunt. But I'm fortunate on that. Some people aren't. Public land especially. Wind direction's a key element for getting a deer. Now, I will say it, and I'll say it again, I'm not a trophy hunter. I have killed several nice deer in my lifetime. I got several nice mounts. But I went over and beyond that. I'm not a trophy hunter. I put meat in the freezer, and the way I look at it, the bigger the deer, the more the meat, the less the cost. I can go out and kill 90-pound deer all day long. But the cost of that 90-pound deer and get 30 pounds of meat gets expensive. So I do hunt older, more mature deer because of the size. And like I was saying earlier, that water jet, cutting these parts, coming up with a program, then coming up with the setup, and then the execution to come out with a good part. It's just like deer hunting. You have to do the same thing. Program, setup, and your execution to come up with a good product. I mean, a lot of people don't look at it that way, but I do. It's just like making a bowl of cereal. You gonna pour the cereal in the milk without a bowl, or are you gonna get a bowl to put the cereal in and then the milk? So, like I say, the deer season's here. I'm heading up North Carolina this weekend, do some backpacking and camping. Good friend of mine, he was under the weather for about 4 months. He's just now getting out and getting able to get out and get about. We're going to go up to his property, and I've been up there before several times, but his property is more of a pass-through property where deer are going through that I remember. I have not been on all of it, but the biggest part of it is a pass-through hunting area. He's got several peach and apple orchards on one side, and the other side's a riverbank and everything else, but it's a pass-through area. I can remember that, but like I say, I haven't been on all of it. So we're going to go up there this weekend, hike in, camp, and kind of scout it out, get things ready for him for this hunting season. And I want to get out and about and see some new territory anyway. But thanks to the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit the like button. Deer season's here. I hope to bring a lot along with you. And leave me a comment. I will get back with you. And again, like I say, if you're in the woods, be safe. Rather be safe than sorry. And I'm going to catch you next time, hopefully from North Carolina. Hope the weather holds, and we'll see you again.